Welcome to Cats and Rats Podcast, covering your Florida Panthers.
Hey everyone, welcome to the newest episode of the Cats and Rats Podcast, episode number 61. I'm your host, Kirby Lupel, joined alongside my co-host, Nick Levine. Cody Stevens is away today, feeling a little bit under the weather. Unfortunate that we don't have him here today, Nick, because we're about to introduce our guest here today, OG Panther himself, works currently with the Florida Panthers broadcast team over there on the radio side, as well as with NHL Network, Mr. Bill Lindsay. How's it going, Billy?
Good. Kirby, Nick, everything good?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's going great. We really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, glad to be here. Hockey season's up and rolling again for another time. It just goes quicker and you go to Stanley Cup finals year after year. So short off season again and Panthers back at it.
We'll take those short off seasons after the amount of long off seasons we've had for 20 years. But that leads kind of to our first question. But before we get exactly to that, Kirby, take it away.
Before we get to kind of current affairs with the Panthers here, myself being an OG Panther fan, Billy, you've been with this organization since the beginning. Like in your words, and I know people have probably heard it on the radio broadcasts, on TV, on NHL Network, but just tell kind of our Cats and Rats community and audience here what it's been like these past 2 summers.
Phenomenal. It takes a lot, but just to get there to see that, go into that Stanley Cup against people, sometimes when I talk to them, forget that we went to 3 straight Stanley Cups that Vegas lost. People kind of forget about, and that happens when you lose Stanley Cups. But 3 straight Stanley Cups, won a couple of times, and put it in perspective after all those years of losing and struggling, and to finally climb that mountaintop and not only do it once, but able to do it a second time. We're among greatness now. We're going to be talked about, especially in a salary cap era, as one of the great teams ever, and that's a pretty special place to be. Amazing. Never thought I'd be talking about this, but this group that's been able to do it with Mr. Viola, the ownership, on down to the GM, the scout, the whole organization is so well run, just from top to bottom, putting people where they need to be to succeed. The players they go out and get, it's really been a lot of hard work behind the scenes, but you have the resources, and to be able to say that we've seen the failures, we've seen the bad times, we've been able to stick through it, and to finally get here and see the results, and not only getting to the finals, but winning and being a champion, and down in South Florida, rejuvenating the fan base. I was here in the early 90s. It was hot. It was rocking. But we've been able to bring that. This team and these group of people have been able to bring that all back to life. And it's wonderful. It's as being an original Panther, to see it come back to this. We're South Florida. I absolutely love, and a place I would no rather be. I fell in love with South Florida when I stepped off the plane way back in 1993. So to get here and to see it come to fruition after this amount of time is really a blessing for me, and I think for this whole franchise, and just something that we can't take for granted.
Yeah, Nick, I know you attended a lot of the events this summer as well.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing it kind of like you'd go around town and, you'd see a Panthers license plate maybe once every a little while, but now seeing it, I go to college in Tampa. I got here 3 years ago. Tampa was in the Stanley Cup final the day I got here, like playing against Colorado. Everybody loved them, like, the Buccaneers and everything, but kind of seeing Fort Lauderdale, South Florida kind of transform into that has been really special, and it helps with the other South Florida teams, but I'm not going to get into that. But, I was kind of just wanted to ask you, you said 3 straight Cup finals. I mean, it's been a great ride. A lot of people, not me and Kirby, don't really remember how this whole 3-year run really started off. That first year, Matthew Tkachuk, when he first came in, they lost Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar. I know growing up a Panther fan, you're kind of like, well, look at this team. I think we finished with 92 points. What was kind of your sense on that season? The new, obviously, firing Andrew Brunette after a President's Trophy year, the blockbuster trade, and it wasn't going well to everybody's eyes on the outside perspective that season.
Yeah, well, at the start, there's this whole changing that has to happen, and they went out with a plan So Paul Maurice has the understanding the year before that we won the President's Trophy. It was run and gun. It was up and down the ice. It was high scoring, high flying offense, exciting team to watch. But a firm belief that you couldn't play that way and win in the playoffs. We got eliminated in the second round, and Paul Maurice comes in and he has this system that he wants to establish. And to go out and make that trade for Jonathan Huberdeau, Paul Maurice, the GM, felt that we needed a player like Matthew Tkachuk to kind of fit this system and be a leader of what we want to do. And for Paul Maurice, that was to dump the puck in a lot, to grind down deep in the corners, a really, really stout neutral zone that's really tough for the opponent to get through. They're going to be forced to dump pucks in. It's not going to be from the outside, it doesn't look like just thrilling hockey, but there was a belief that, okay, if we play this way, we're going to have a chance to win Stanley Cups, and we have the talent here. We have to start to grow this. We got to start to brand it, and it did get off slow. But this is a whole change in philosophy, and you're trying to get players to buy into that and commit to it. It's a hard thing to do, but eventually you could start to see it start to turn the corner right around Christmas. It's getting better. And then after Christmas, you get on a little bit of a roll. And then after the All-Star break, everything gels and all of a sudden it clicks. And you see it. And I think that's where Paul Maurice, everyone, the players understood, okay, we've been doing this. We understand what you want us to do, the players, from a coaching staff perspective. They've been able to relay that, and then all of a sudden you see this hockey that's tough. It's hard. They're able to do it, and they're able to squeak their way in the playoffs on the second or last day of the season, or the last day of the season, right around there, as you mentioned, with 92 points. But you could see a total change in the philosophy and the dynamic of the team and the culture and what they're trying to do. And a big part of that was Matthew Tkachuk, because who else would you want to bring in Jonathan Huberdeau, great, awesome player, fantastic years down here in South Florida. But if you're looking for someone to grind it down deep in the corners, muck pucks out, get in front of the net, talk a little bit of trash, who else set a better example than Matthew Tkachuk? So they started to, I guess, rebrand the team, and it took a little while for it to click. But boy, once it clicked, and it became a sale, and they were able to just get better and better at it. That right there, right around Christmas of that run, when we went to get against Vegas, that's when this whole franchise started to turn around in a whole different direction.
And for the development of the team, and obviously the fan base, a lot of people just remember the 2 cup wins versus the Oilers. I still believe, and wondering your thoughts on this, that run versus Vegas, and even in particular losing that with the injuries and facing the Montour and Ekblad injuries, was the most important run we've ever had, even with the ones, the cups we won, because I don't think any of this happens with the fan base, with the success we've had winning the last 2 Stanley Cups, without losing to Vegas, without going against Boston, without dealing with the stylistic change and the injuries.
Does anything happen in life without failure? You can go look back, no, but it's the people and the teams that are able to push through failure in life that are able to continue to keep it growing. So you look at that as something that, okay, we went a long way. We had injuries. What can we do better? How can we get better at this? Or does it stop you as a team and franchise? We did everything that we could, and we just didn't win, and you just kind of fall back. But this team was built throughout their lineup. Okay, well, that's not success, but you're going to have more failure, more ups and downs, and you're going to have to fight, and you're going to have to learn to have more pain, more suffering than anyone else. And I think that's what they learned from in that Vegas series, is that how much you're going to have to put your body through, what it asks to win a Stanley Cup. There was an understanding this is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, and we are going to have to get better, even with all the injuries that you talked about. But to win a Stanley Cup, we're going to have to be a better version of ourselves. So, Nick, I agree with you wholeheartedly. You go through anything in life, anything that you don't succeed at, and especially if you're at the cusp, if you learn from that kind of stuff and are able to go forward, fail forward, the next time that it comes around, you're better prepared. And this Panther team was better prepared. Those types of seasons, those type of things that don't end up in the ultimate prize are so valuable, though, so valuable. And yeah, you don't win the back-to-back Stanley Cup championships without having that first run against Vegas.
And I remember the New York Rangers, a lot of people talked about it that year, won a President's Trophy. They had a gap year. They missed the playoffs the next year. I believe they went on to win the Stanley Cup the following year after that. So winning is not linear. I think the stylistic change was important. And Kirby, Paul Maurice said, you learn more in losing than you do in winning, particularly now.
So take a look at that standpoint. 25 years behind the bench. He's done everything that he could. Everything in coaching. He's been to Stanley Cup finals. He hasn't won. Just imagine how hard that is. Trying to go back and say, well, okay, I got to do it next year, but never giving in. Never relenting, always pushing, always driving, always believing, not only in his team, but himself. Like he believes, okay, that's what I'm talking about the systems here, that they're retooling. He has enough belief to come in here and take a President's Trophy team and dismantle it and turn it into something else. People that haven't been through stuff are not going to be confident to come in and do that. And if you brought someone in new to coaching, well, that worked really well. Let's just kind of stay with it and hope. So that's where having someone like Paul, that what you mentioned there, that you learn through losing and all that kind of. There's no better example than himself for Paul Maurice and what he has to go through and what he had to grind through to get to a Stanley Cup final and get some players that were able to hoist that trophy, and he was a major part of it.
Yeah, he was pretty much done. He said he was done. I mean, Winnipeg, that was it. That was it for him. He was content. But Kirby, I know you wanted to just touch on that.
I just want to jump in. I actually kind of segued there nicely there with Paul Maurice, and I wanted to add in the other man, Bill Zito. We hear a lot of stuff from the media, Billy, with Bill Zito, with Paul Maurice. How about if you're able to share some stories on those two men, something that you might want to share that people might not know about these two guys on this run here and this journey here.
Yeah, so for Bill Zito, everything that you see in the trigger that he pulls, what's happened here is serviceable leadership. So leadership in this organization was from Mr. Viola. It starts with the owner. But so the leaders in the groups are there to serve, not to be served. So if you're a leader in a certain capacity, you're there to do the best and help the people underneath you and to lift them up and to give them sole responsibility. So once Mr. Viola says, okay, well, you're the GM, you make all the decisions. I'll give it. So Bill asked for the money, or can I go get this player? And then once the answer is yes, but what you might not know out there, what Bill Zito does is it goes through analytics first with the player, and does that get checked off? Does the character fit into our dressing room? So that goes through tons of people calling and understanding, all the scouts, everyone. Like there's this whole meeting room filled with people that he surrounded himself with, that he believes in and trusts. And so does the player fit that bill? Does he fit this bill? Can we bring him in? Can he do this? And then once all that gets approved, then Bill Zito says, okay, I'm right about this. Let's do it. Let's get it done. We'll pull the trigger. And that's where it works for Bill Zito, is he's not afraid to delegate and give out a lot of responsibility to other people and fully trust them. That's the same with the coaching staff. That's the same with Viola. Mr. Viola, the first couple of years, he was around a lot. First 3 years, learning. Once he thought, okay, well, I understand this now. I step away, I put people in roles, and they do their jobs, and they have to do it exceptionally well. So Bill's a really interesting guy, thoughtful, and just the attention to detail is outrageous, and that's why you get the results that you get. It's hardworking. It's not okay. Well, like Gustav Forsling's available off waivers. I saw him play a couple of times, and yeah, let's take a chance on. Let's take a swing. But after that, there's so much more that goes into it. That's the biggest thing I probably could tell you about Bill Zito.
Yeah, and Nick, the thing that I've heard too is like the coaching staff is in there with Bill Zito. Like Billy just mentioned, all those people being in there, like goaltending department, You've got Paul Maurice, and like he talks to Paul Maurice, right, Billy, on a daily basis, I believe. Like, I don't know if that's common with general manager to coach relationship, but just how he brings everyone in, the delegation and not worrying about, hey, this is my role and my stature with the organization, able to really delegate and have everyone involved, like you say.
Yes, yeah. So everyone, when you come to the rink and that's part of this team, you feel important. You do that. And once the players do go down to Paul Maurice, whoever the Bill Zito goes out and gets, all those conversations is, well, Paul's telling Bill, this is how I'm going to use the player. You might not, you thought maybe he was going to be a first line winger. Brad Marchand, they traded for him. Paul says that he's going to play my third line with a couple of youngsters. Bill might not like it, but that's what Paul says. And so Paul has free reign once it goes down to him and the players. And so that's where all the coaches, and then you have those daily talks, and yeah, they understand it. And Paul might know the player from before and understands, yeah, that character fits into my dressing room, what I'm trying to do. And it's the totality of the conversation and the belief that you finally are able to come to the conclusions and get the results that you want.
Yeah, and you, me, and Cody mentioned, hey, third line, Brad Marchand, right? Like right from the start. So I mean, we were with coach there.
Even there, it's like you take a look, like Sylvain Lefebvre, who came in, has done an unbelievable job. Mm-hmm. And, you kind of take a look at the work he did with Brandon Montour, Aaron Ekblad really changing his game since the new coaching staff came in after the President's Trophy year, Gustav Forsling. Then you take a look at a guy like Nico Mikkola. I mean, it just kind of all comes together. And I think they've done a really good job at identifying
Seth Jones.
Seth Jones is another one. That was not a popular move at the time. People say you gave up a lot, and the contract was a big point of discussion. I mean, it's just really kind of been all around. Like, I mean, if you would have told me when Bill Zito came in, and this is no shot at the previous management or the construction of the team at that time, but if you would have told me we have arguably the best blue line in the NHL in 5 years, I wouldn't have believed you. And the way it's just been constructed. And, I remember Tampa, again, they picked up guys like Kevin Shattenkirk and Pat Maroon. Like, they pick up these veteran pieces for league minimum. Like, how the hell are they able to do that and we can't? Yeah. Now you start to see Oliver Ekman-Larssons, the Nate Schmitz, veteran guys who are good players. Their time runs out wherever they're at, and they sort of find their way. Buyouts, whatever it is, and they find their way here, and it's just been unbelievable. I mean, it's one thing to be a contender from where we were at. It's another thing to be the standard of the NHL, and I think it's just a testament to when Vinny Viola came in, all the work he's done in the community, willing to spend the money, and then you take a look at the management and the coaching, it's second to none.
Yeah, it's yes, and you talk about the community giving back, and that's it, guys. It has to start at the top, and it has to filter on down into the players. And once you get that, and once you get into players like Barkov, who are just totally unselfish, you could tell Barkov 1,000 times over he's one of the best players in the world, and he'd be, okay, thank you very much, I appreciate it, and that's about it. He doesn't think of himself in that way. He just thinks, okay, well, I got to put in more work into the summer. I got to be able to do the little bit extra. So if you're a fourth line guy on this team, and you see Barkov come to training camp and the fitness testing, and Barkov doesn't have to grind out a fitness test. He knows he's going to be on the team, but all of a sudden he comes in there and he's going, balls to the wall on the fitness testing, and so's Kachuk, so's Reinhart. What's everyone else going to do? They're going to have to fall into place if your best players are something that they don't have to do, but they do it, and that
Bobrovsky, Billy.
Yes, Bobrovsky, like it's insane. His mental fortitude, his training routine that he's been able to just kind of craft over the years, make it his own, the dedication, the stuff that you don't see when people aren't watching. What are you doing? Well, we have a lot of people that go back, that go into the summertime, and when there's no eyeballs on them, they are giving it 1,010%. And that's when you start to build culture, and that's when you start to build trust. You have to have trust in a locker room. So the person sitting beside you, do I trust them? Yes. And yes, 100%. Do I, and can I lift them up? Why? Why? Because they put in the work. They put in the work and they do what they have to. And then you get into this identity of a team, as you talked about the standard of the NHL. There is no greater team in the NHL at this point, an understanding of a DNA or realizing of who they are, what they are, and how they have to play. Everyone talks about, well, what's the culture of this team? What's the identity of this team? You could go through so many teams and say, yeah, I'm not really sure. And we were that team for a lot of years. I'm not really sure what the Florida Panthers are. They got some nice players, but I don't know about. Yeah, now you know exactly what you're going to get. They're going to hit you. It's going to be mean. If you lose to them, they're going to try and tear a strip off you anyway. It's it's going to be a battle. So you now have a total clarity of just, this is who we are, this is what we're about, and this is how we win hockey games. So you come to work, do your business, and it goes from the first line to the fourth line, and everyone contributes. Like, we've retooled the fourth line the last couple of years. How good has the fourth line always been in the playoffs? Plus, they can play. They'll beat the crap out of you. Like, we're mean, we're nasty, and we got the guys to back it up. We play a rough and tumble style, but we will never back down.
I think you see a lot of that.
I want to add clip that what Billy said on the DNA.
I will. I think you see a lot of that. You see a lot of talented teams, and people are like, well, why isn't it coming together? Buffalo, you take a look at the talent they've accumulated over the last 14 years, right? And they've just never been able to put it together. I mean, there's a ton of teams like that. I mean, through all different sports, obviously. And I think the biggest part is the intangibles. What happens off the ice, the culture. I know certain people don't like to value intangibles too much, but I think it really separates from in this league.
They're massive.
It's huge.
Yes. I go back to 96. That 96 team had no business being in a Stanley Cup final. None. Like zero. Like, so it's, but we got there. And
Eric Lindros, anyone? Mario?
Yeah, we got there because this is the sum of the parts is so great. It's not just the one part, but the sum working together as one is so hard to play against. And all of a sudden you get that with a much more talented group than we've seen the last couple of years. That's where you win championships. Right. It is behind the scenes. It is what you don't see off the ice. It's a brotherhood. It's a love for one another and understanding. Look, if I fail tonight, I'm not going home and sulking because I played bad. It's because I let my teammate down. Geez, that hurts me more than anything else. And once that filters throughout a locker room and the care, the love, and the trust, what you see, that has to happen in a dressing room. You just can't win that trophy. It's too hard to win with a splintered group with players on their own program or their own show saying, okay, well, I like part of it. I've played with tons of players like that, hey, I'm good. I'm just going to kind of do my own thing and we'll just go from there. But there was no, this is all about winning, which can be extremely frustrating. If you I played with superstars, some of them that were out of this world good, but they were on their own program. They weren't. They were about me, not we us, and that's the biggest difference that I can find with this team is what you see off the ice is what's really generated this cohesiveness on the ice.
And Nick, that filters from the top down, like Billy said. Had Doug McLean on our show here a couple times, and it was probably a lot different when he left Florida and went to Columbus. And he talks about this often. The ownership's in his ear. He's like, "I'm going to fire the coach tomorrow." Who's coaching? Well, you are, right? And it's just like, what's going on here, right? So it's like Bill Zito has everything in line. Right. And Mr. Viola, after those first few years, you mentioned Billy have everything in line here.
I think this is actually a perfect segue into currently now. Obviously, you're talking about some of the parts. Well. And you mentioned Alexander Barkov, how key is. Obviously, he's out for the season, regular season, 7 to 9 months. I know there's a lot of talk about if and when he can return, March, April playoffs. For the long-term future for right now, he's out. Matthew Tkachuk probably not expected back around till December. And the big loss, an underrated loss, Dmitry Kulikov. What has kind of been your assessment of the first 7 games here thus far? And is there anything different we need to do moving forward? I know there's a lot of chatter out there about some guy in Pittsburgh who's pretty good, but you know, I think
as
well,
long as
both.
Pittsburgh,
But
as long as Pittsburgh stays around that playoff chase, those guys will not be available. So they've gotten off to a good start, a decent start. Like, it's going to have to go abysmal for them even be, then. And this, still, that stuff's not happening with either Malkin or Crosby or Letang, any of those three. One, they have no trade protection, so they get to call their shots, which they should after this many years.
right.
But they want to be in Pittsburgh. They want to make it work there. But that's for down the road too. So that kind of talk. But the current team, yes, you have the injuries. It hurts. It stings. But the systems that I talked about are gonna be able to carry you quite some ways. Like the understanding. So what we did in '96 with that group. This team is still better than that '96 team even with the injuries and the understanding that, okay, well, maybe our third line isn't quite what it is. With the margin of error has definitely become smaller, but it's still, and we'll struggle to score goal. Like when we lose, like when we've lost these last 4 in a row, when we struggle to lose, it will because we'll have trouble putting the puck in the net at times. You're going to have to kind of live and grow through that. And Sam Bennett is number one centerman. He's not used to drawing the attention of the other team's top checking line or the other team's top players. That's kind of a change for him. There's different matchups that go throughout this. I like the way that they played in Buffalo. I thought it's a game that they could have won. The Jersey game, that was a little bit flat, a little bit disappointing, but there's areas that they'll clean up. This is still a playoff team into the mix. Fans get it's so one game at a time all of a sudden. If you go if you're 20 and 10 and 5 or whatever, and you go 3 and 4 over 7 games, no one even thinks about it. You're going to go 3 and 4 or 3 and 5 over 8 games throughout the course of the year. So it happens to be at the start of the season with this team and this talent still deep enough. We'll see what happens here with Mikkola. That's another. But once you start to get a little bit thin, but you're also going to have the expectation of that Carter Verhaeghe is not a 25 goal scorer, that he is a 35 goal scorer. He has to get to that level to help regain some of this. Mackie Samoskevich has to have the type of confidence that I believe, okay, that I understand that I can score 25 goals into this league, take a step forward. Anton Lundell, I'm a shutdown centerman. Plus I'm playing power play this year. I'm a 20 goal, 60-point guy. So people have to either get to their bar, raise their bar, stay there for this to continue to work. But they've established themselves with the greatness. It's there. It's not going away. So I fully expect even after this 3 and 4 start, this team will continue to get better and find ways to win hockey games.
And you take a look at the additions now, like Brad Marchand. I mean, he's
Yes.
arguably been our best player, best forward for sure.
He doesn't like helmets.
No, he does not. But he's driven play, and you're taking a look at guys who had immense amount of success in the playoffs last year, maybe aren't known for the regular season play, like Sam Bennett at Tulos Arena and Evan Rodriguez. You're going to need to have those guys step up a little bit more too.
They're going to have to produce during the regular. They are, because they're thrusted into elevated roles.
Right.
So that has to come through, and that's a great opportunity. When people are out, there's still opportunity for these people to kind of step forward and really prove themselves. And that's the understanding that's in that room. You're going to see a lot more 3-2,
boring
2-1
hockey.
Like the games are going to be a lot closer for us, as I talked about. But still getting into those close games, I think they believe they'll win.
Yeah, and Billy, I wanted to jump in on the Barkov front there. I know he's gone. You got to move on. They always say the next man up mentality. But I kind of saw this happening going on to the road, and maybe you could speak from a player's perspective. When you're at home, you're in your own bed. You're going through your routine. You come to the rink. You have last change. There's things that play into your favor there. How's this team going to look on the road without their captain, without their leader, Alexander Barkov? Like you say, everyone's got to inch up. They've got to bump up. Their expectations are high. But when you're on the road there, you can't get through the neutral zone. Passes aren't connecting. You just don't have your A game. How's this team going to figure that out on the road without captain?
Yeah, they'll be fine. It's when you go on the road, sometimes you can get onto the same thing at home. You're away from home. If you start snowballing wins on the road, then all of a sudden that routine on the road becomes very, very in sync. Okay, I'm going out to dinner with the same guys tonight. We'll eat here. Know what time to shut the TV off. And you go from there. The one problematic thing with this team then is on the other side when you don't have the last line change on the other side. We didn't with Barkov in the lineup and Lundell centering a third line, and then that second line. What ended up in I don't know even who our second line was, but when you get Bennett, Kachuk, and those kind of players on your on your second line, it's they don't care. They did that team the last couple of years. We didn't care if we got any kind of matchup on the road. Now some of the matchups that you might be trying to get or chase might be a little bit harder. So all of a sudden, if you do get that Rodriguez line out there, and you're playing in Detroit and you get Dylan Larkin in the top line, you might be going, yeah, that's not exactly what we want, but we got to find a way through this. And where before it was, okay, yeah, we're totally comfortable with that type of stuff happening. There is a weakness as far as draws are concerned, as far as winning faceoffs. It's up the middle. It's not a good face-off team at this moment. That's not a huge thing, but something that you can hopefully Lundell can be that guy. But there's different areas going onto the road that this team has they believe they can win in Alaska. What's that? So last year we didn't have home series advantage in any of the playoff series, not once, and you win the Stanley Cup. There's no fear of the road. There's no woes. Yes, we do come out of the gate. You lose 4 in a row on the road. You just kind of have to look, and Paul Maurice talks about it a lot, is, okay, how did the game look? How is the understanding? And I look back at the Buffalo game, and your power play is no good at all. Like but if your power play comes through, you win that game. The
4 power plays in the first period, you don't capitalize on one.
Yeah, the 5-on-5 play I thought was great. I thought they kept right there with that. So there's areas that just need some tweaking, cleaning up, and they'll find out. And this is good too for Paul. I was talking to Paul the other day, and he said it's going to take me 20 games to kind of figure out where everyone fits. Like I know Lundell, Marchand, and Luostarinen fit, but I know that's not going to stay the same all year. I know that all the lines are going to have to change. So you're as you saw in Buffalo, we got some different looks with some line mates. You're going to see that here through the first 20 games. And then once he gets a good idea on his top 9 rotation and starts to settle in, okay, well, this guy can play with this guy and more of an understanding. So I believe there's a bit of a learning curve that's going on with his team in the lineup at this moment. Once they start to gel and click, they're going to win hockey games, and they're going to be where they need to be. I just firmly believe that this team just has too much confidence, belief, and there is enough talent to be better than a lot of teams in the NHL not to be in the playoffs.
And we also the goaltending has been unbelievable to start the year. I mean, Sergei Bobrovsky's dialed in. Daniil Tarasov, I mean, not much you really could fault him for either one in the game. It was stellar in the New Jersey game. Philadelphia game was definitely left a lot to be desired.
They will. You talk about regular seasons; they will have to be better throughout the course. The goalies, because of that, you are going to need goalie wins. Like in the past, we don't rely on Bobrovsky to steal a ton of games in the playoffs. Yes, but during the regular season, Sergei is good enough to make the saves that we need, and we were so dominant throughout the course of the regular season. Just make the saves at the right times, and now with Tarasov, but we will be at points this year that we're going to need some goalie wins along the way. Where we got thrashed tonight, but we won 2-1. So we'll have to have a few of those wins on our resume this year, and hopefully it continues with the goaltending. But what they've done in Sergei Bobrovsky at the age of 37, bringing in Tarasov, the goal crease, that $10 million contract that Bobrovsky signed looked terrible at the start. Now it's one of the greatest deals in hockey.
I mean, changed the trajectory ever since that playoff run. The Marchand save in Boston, it's been unbelievable from there. Kirby, anything else?
No, I think that's everything. Appreciate having Billy on here.
Thank you so much,
I've
Billy.
interviewed Billy
Yeah.
before. This first time talking to Billy. I appreciate Nick you getting this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kirby, Nick, I really appreciate it. Thanks for the
Yeah.
time. I mean, it's awesome. I'll do it anytime. Sorry for the bit of delays. As I said, busy summer, but
I bet.
yeah, more than happy to do it.
Of course. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll do it again.
Thank you. Absolutely. Take care.
All right, take care, guys.
Take care. And as we say goodbye to Billy, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor, CanesWear.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? CanesWear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. CanesWear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
And we just want to give another shout out here to our other sponsor, Jeremy Beckham at Beck Sells FLA. Hey, Panther fans in South Florida need real estate help? Check out Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy and his team put humans over houses, working hard for you, whether you're buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com or call 772-475-5371 now. You'll be glad you did. And Nick, was great having on Bill here. I know I've interviewed him in the past. Unfortunately, again, Cody couldn't be with us here today, but I appreciate you setting that up. And we've got another guest on deck here, a really big guest, maybe hopefully here in the next few weeks or months.
Yeah. I'm going to keep bringing him on, keep bringing everybody on. But we really do appreciate Billy Lindsay for coming on, and we're definitely going to bring him back. And he was just awesome. I mean, everybody we bring on is like, it's just a treat to have them on.
They've always been a great representation of the team. It's always gone well with us on and off the air, bringing everyone on. Trying to take everyone's recommendations out there. We try our best. We have to do a lot of these on our own. So we're doing the heavy lift on our end to be able to bring you guys these guests.
And even
getting guests like EJ Raddick this summer and stuff as well.
Yeah, and a special shout out to our new members. We really do appreciate it, especially doing this independently, Kirby. So thank you so much, and shout out to D'Lo and Michael Wallace, correct?
Yep, I didn't add Michael's name to there, but they are our first two community members.
So we really do appreciate it. D'Lo has been here since day one. Michael Wallace, and
he's been here since year one
as well. So we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, and we'll give those special shout outs to our community members. There's lots of special, nice perks built into being especially a gold and silver member. If you do become a gold or silver member with us, make sure to DM me and I'll give you more information on that as well.
Yes, and also congratulations to Petra, who won our October 28th Anaheim Duck Club Level Tickets giveaway. And we're going to be doing more of those giveaways in the future for other games, club level, same tickets. So congratulations to Petra, and any other giveaways, tickets, memorabilia, we will obviously either put it here. You'll hear about it because we'll market the hell out of it. Kirby will tweet about it.
Nick, tell us about the club level experience a little bit.
Well, I haven't been up there in a while. It's really nice seats. You kind of get it's like private own, like you get your little private area, like not private, but like cut off from like kind of the rest of everybody else. Bathrooms a little bit, just you have to deal with less people going to the bathroom, getting concessions, really nice seats, comfortable lounge areas to hang out in between intermissions, right?
Is it the shoot twice side as well?
It is the shoot twice side. So these are very good tickets. And congratulations to Petra. We hope you have a great time, and hopefully the Panthers win that one. Because if they don't, well, I don't know if we're allowed to give it to you anymore.
Nick's very superstitious.
I am kidding. But
Nick would leave me out. Hey, we gotta give a shout out to our boy Cameron, Big C's running mate there. He wasn't even sitting in on those Stanley Cup final games last year because they kept losing when he was there. So
Matthew H. was 0-7 heading into Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final. And he's like, I'm going to go. I'm like, if you go and we lose, we're not going to say it here, but it wouldn't have ended up well. But
Nick is like this at his watch party. So if we get together on these Cats and Rats watch parties, Nick can't be like that when we're all getting together there. So
right. So Yeah, I mean, if we lose to the Boston Bruins and I'm on that live stream watch party, well, that'll be it for me. So,
Okay, good. You want to give a plug? Give the plug now for everyone.
we're going
You guys better be listening to this in the morning, or you're going to
yeah, well, of course. When else would they listen to it?
maybe later in the week.
Yeah. But we are going to be doing a live stream watch party. Me, Kirby, and Banksy, Nick Fairbanks, watching the Boston Bruins versus the Florida Panthers. Brad Marchand's returned to Boston, so it should be interesting. Hopefully, it doesn't end up like the last 4 games. So
be on our YouTube channel. So all of our audio listeners on the Apple and Spotify side, make sure you are clicking on our YouTube channel page. Make sure you're subscribing and turn your notification bell on. Then you'll see when we go live. We'll probably go live 10, 15 minutes before these live stream games. This won't be the only one this year, Nick. We'll do many more ahead. We'll do some of these later West Coast games. We might do 1 or 2 of those. We're going to do the Olympic games, some of those.
Around the holiday break, too, the Christmas break, around those December games.
We'll get some of those games in there. We'll see what we're going to do. We don't have any plans as of yet, but for January 2nd, I know, Nick, you might be at that game live, but me and Cody will probably be holding it down here.
Yeah, of course. And kind of just wanted to talk about it. We haven't really talked about much about the 3-4 start. Last time we talked was on the 3-1 start, where we had just lost to Philadelphia. Kind of your thoughts over the Panthers the last week?
Well, I've been giving them every post game here. I kind of I was kind of alluding with Billy there earlier. I kind of expected this on the road, maybe not this soon. I was thinking maybe 3 weeks in, 6 weeks in, and I think Cody's kind of with me a little bit there. So I didn't really like the efforts in most of those games. The Philadelphia game I can live with. The Detroit game, you kind of saw the offense dry up there, and you saw youngsters on Detroit. I know Billy mentioned Larkin, but how about Finney and Sandin Pellikka? Like, these guys were taking over the game.
Don't mention Sandin Pellikka.
We can't allow that to happen with these Detroit Red Wings. I know that was a big topic of discussion of where we were going to rank the Red Wings coming into this season.
Nobody thought this.
Yeah, like you couldn't yeah. Now New Jersey, I get where Billy's coming from when you're missing, the Matthew Tkachuk's, the world, Alexander Barkov.
And they got talent over there.
They got the talent over there. Right?
That's not a concern.
Right? If you don't play well, right? And the Buffalo Sabres,
you can make an argument.
Maybe they're turning a corner just ever so slightly. They played a good game.
You can make an argument we lose that New Jersey game with Barkov and Tkachuk. I mean, that's very possible, right? So, I mean, but again, the Buffalo game, you take a look at the Detroit game. That Detroit game is one we win, usually. And I know Detroit's playing very well right now, and I give credit to them. They've responded to their coach, Todd McClellan, after calling them out after the first game of the season. Back-to-back wins versus Toronto then. Although depleted, they did beat the defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, and they're rolling here. They're 5-1 as we speak, as of this recording. And I mean,
Nick, just to jump in, I don't like how we didn't challenge the goalies on this road trip.
Yeah. And they're all kind of in the same tier when you take a look at Alex Lyon, Cam Talbot, Jake Allen, Dan Vladar. I mean, you could argue the best goalie we faced this year is Spencer Knight, but we're not going to get into that right now. But he's looked really good, and Billy was talking also about you're going to need Bob games, goalie games where you steal them. I think we've had opportunities to have that. Where Bobrovsky, like Tarasov, stops 30 out of 33. You take a look, Bobrovsky allows 2 goals versus Detroit, made some big saves. I mean, there have been opportunities there. Breakaway saves. So there have been opportunities there, and unfortunately, we haven't been able to. There's been stretches like this. Remember, previous season, 24-25 season, where Bobrovsky was outstanding versus teams like Colorado, Carolina, and we were losing and we were hurt. And then people were complaining about Bobrovsky the next week when he allowed 7 or something to Colorado, right? So, it's going to be ups and downs, and I agree with Bill Lindsay's comments. Like, everybody's going to have to step up. I mean, you're going to have to do it to some of the parts. It's going to be by committee, and you can't really, the margin for error in specific games, obviously in specific areas of the game, are smaller, but you can't really afford anybody to have an off night. Like, it's not like, Barkov and Tkachuk, they have an off night, but that third line steps up. It's not as feasible now. So that third line, which was Lundell, Lusto, Marchand, becomes Rodriguez, Mackey, Boqvist. That changes things quite a bit. So I think we'll be fine.
I've watched the league quite a bit through the first week.
It's not that good.
I know it's still early, but this league is very competitive right now, and it's wide open. So
yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, a lot of the teams just aren't that good. I mean, I mean,
you think they're not that good teams?
I think there are a lot of teams that are not
I
playing
think
well right now.
Chicago's better this year.
Well,
Look what Pittsburgh's done. Look what Boston has done. Look at Seattle, which you guys, my hosts, always like to crap on. These teams have got better right now.
Well, I'm talking about the teams in our division like Toronto, Tampa.
Okay. You're talking about the top. I'm talking from the bottom of
the
the
bottom up, yeah, and that could
better.
lead to a lot more trap games this year where points are
Anaheim's
lost. Where points are lost. I mean, one of the things I will say this
We're
though.
in Anaheim twice coming up next.
So, yeah, I mean, Minnesota, I don't love how they're playing. A lot of stuff out west. Take a look, guys. Teams like Minnesota and St. Louis, they're not playing too well right now. In Chicago, Frankie Nazar, Connor Bedard, lighting it up for them. I mean, that is a fun duo to watch. So,
yeah. No, I'm just saying the bottom of the leagues get more competitive. That means the top.
Kirby was critical of that last show hire. Maybe it was the right hire after all.
We'll see. Right. It's early. I know what Billy said about Pittsburgh. I think they could still be in full sell mode. Come,
Yeah, but I think they're much better coach team. No slight at Mike Sullivan, but I think it's the right fit at the right time. What's his name? Something Muse. I forget his first name. Is it Ryan Muse or something like that? I don't know. Dan Muse. Maybe, I don't remember. But I think he's.
What is he? Are you calling him to be the next Spencer Carberry here?
No, I'm just saying that I think he's a nice fit for them, and I think he's a good enough coach to keep him competitive potentially for a little bit. I don't buy the Boston thing as much. And
Boston, I was listening to their post-game shows from their content creators because we're going to be playing them here. We're going to be doing our live stream. They've said they've got a little bit lucky, and they haven't been good breaking out of their own zone.
You know who has been good, though? Jeremy Swayman. He's been excellent. So,
well, he's not getting a lot of help. They want him to get more help.
Well, correct. Yeah, so
down if they don't.
I mean, if you watch those games, he's by far their MVP. And same goes for us. Our goalie's been our MVP this year.
Yeah. So
but anything else?
It's going to be a goalie game. Is it going to be high score? I'm looking forward to this Boston game and games later on this week. So I don't think anything else, Nick. I want everyone to make sure to like, subscribe, comment on this video. Let us know what you thought of this episode with Billy. Give us some feedbacks on some of what you're seeing with the roster construction right now. Because I know like everyone's living game by game. We're seeing it within our own community here. We did our post-game show with New Jersey last week after that loss. So yeah, I'd love hearing the feedback and everything like that. And if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to drop it down there in the comments section over on the YouTube channel side, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate all the support. We're going to continue this all season long. Shout out to always everybody who comments, subscribes, our new members. Thank you so much. Shout out to our sponsors, CanesWear and Jeremy Beckham. And we're going to be continuing this, so we really appreciate it. Nope. And anything else?
No, you take over, Nick. You give
as we always say here, thank you once again. Let's go, Cats.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? CanesWear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. CanesWear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.